Secretary Panetta, you and I share belief in American leadership. We share belief that America, for all its imperfections, is on balance a force for good in the world, and that America plays an indispensable role as the leader of the free world and the enforcer of the rules-based international order, and that the alternative, a world shaped in the totalitarian image of the CCP, is too terrifying to imagine. But that basic belief in the benignity and necessity of America's global leadership, which is the raison d'etre of the China Committee, has been eroding not only abroad but here at home, where we are witnessing the rise of isolationism on both the left and the right. And so America as a democracy, constrained as it should be by the consent of the governed, is American global leadership politically sustainable in the long run if American sentiment here at home takes a decidedly isolationist turn, as it did in the aftermath of World War I?
Yeah, look, we made that mistake before. Before World War II, this country decided that somehow it could be isolationist and not have to get involved in dealing with the challenges and the threats abroad. We learned our lesson. I hope we learned our lesson, which is that you can't put your head in the sand. In a global world, it's even more so. The United States has to be out there, has to be dealing with our allies, has to be developing relationships with those that agree with the goals that we seek. We have to be engaged with the world. We cannot just simply pull back and pretend that somehow we can escape our responsibilities in the world and just somehow focus on issues here in the United States. Yes, we have to be concerned about the United States. Yes, we have to be concerned about our economy. But we also have to be concerned about our role in the world. The United States has to be a world leader. If there's any lesson we learned from World War II, is that the United States is a world leader. And let me tell you something. If the United States is not a world leader, nobody else will play that role.
In your testimony, Secretary Panetta, you said that America needs to send a message that it stands by our allies, but Congress itself has sent nothing but mixed messaging. Even though there's overwhelming bipartisan bicameral support for Israel and Taiwan, there has been an indefinite delay in delivering aid to both countries. Congress fails to act not only when Democrats and Republicans disagree, we fail to act even when we agree. And if there were standalone bills on Israel and Taiwan with no poison pills, both bills would pass overwhelmingly in both chambers of Congress. And so given the risk that negotiations around Ukraine and immigration could languish indefinitely, do you believe that it might be necessary at some point to decouple Israel and Taiwan from the larger negotiations in order to pass them immediately as standalone bills?
Well, look, as a former member of Congress, I've said in my over 50 years of public life, I've seen Washington at its best, and I've seen Washington at its worst. The good news is I've seen Washington work. The reason I said I had the best job in the world as a member of Congress is because Republicans and Democrats, when I was here, worked together. We worked together and we got things done. We had good relationships. And when an issue like aid to a foreign country came around, we worked together. Look, I understand that politics is involved. I understand that there's the give and take. I mean, that's what democracy is all about. And I understand that dynamic. But in the end, it isn't about scoring political points. It's about governing. You guys aren't elected to come back here and pound your shoe on the table. You're elected to come back here and govern. That's what people elect you for. And for that reason, ultimately, people who of goodwill need to sit down, develop whatever deal they can develop, and get it passed. And if they can't get a deal, then there is no question that they have got to move Ukraine aid, Israel aid, and Taiwan aid on its own.
And I guess I have 10 seconds left. Do you feel China is emboldened by Donald Trump's America First isolationism or deterred by it?
Look, I
Was that for me?
Oh, that's for
Time has
Secretary Panetta.
expired.